video, we all have a third kidney, says science. Here's how to use it. Gathering here, today I want to start with a question for you guys. Are you ready? Which one of the following organs shares the most similar functions with the kidneys? Skin, lungs, heart, or brain? If you know the answer, write it down in comment section. So, which one of these organs does a job similar to that of the kidneys? Skin, lungs, heart, or brain? Have you guessed which one is it? Well, only one of these organs can help you get rid of fluids, but also urea, sodium, potassium, and more. We will see the answer to this question in a moment. But this is not just a theoretical question. Scientists have actually found a way to help our kidneys improve thanks to one of the organs mentioned. It's going to be a simple tip you can use to improve actually. And yeah, that's what today's video is all about. We are going to see 5 simple and easy tricks that are extremely effective in protecting our precious kidneys. Before that, have you guessed which one of these organs is the answer to the question? Ready to see the answer? Well, it's the skin. So let me know if you got that right. And guys, while you are at it, also consider giving this video a like and sharing it with a friend. Back to our third kidney now. But how does it work? Well, you see, sweat that we release through our skin is not just pure water. I mean, it wouldn't have a smell if it was just water, alright? Sweat is full of the same scores and excess minerals the kidneys are also tasked to remove. That's why it smells. In fact, in our sweat, we can find urea, sodium, potassium, and other toxins. And that's great. And even removing fluids, which we can do when we sweat more, can help, especially if you suffer from swelling. And guess what? We can actually exploit this function of the body to decrease the stress on our kidneys. But how, you may ask? Well, this is what Dr. Raymond W. Keller, Jr., CEO of the Third Kidney Incorporation, is studying today. And he has developed a protocol already. So, question, how can we use our skin to get rid of toxins and protect the kidneys? So, their patented method is a sauna-based procedure, alright? Why sauna, you may ask? Because it's the easier way to make someone sweat in a predictable amount. And well, the results they are having with their method are amazing. In their tests, researchers from Third Kidney Incorporation found out that dialysis patients were able to greatly lower their serum potassium levels, and this can be useful in some cases. Even more interesting, they greatly reduced their BUN or blood urea nitrogen. BUN went from 110 milligrams per DL to 80 mg per DL, and this also decreased muscle cramping, as we can see. This is very important because it means that saunas can actually remove nitrogen, one of the most important renal toxins, directly through the skin. Amazing! But why is decreasing BUN so important? Because when we limit protein intake, one of the main reasons is reducing urea production, alright? And we have seen here on the channel that there are patients that are avoiding dialysis just by reducing protein intake. So can you imagine how helpful for the kidneys it will be to have another organ getting rid of this dangerous toxin? Okay, and now you may ask, but what is the super amazing protocol they are using to lower BUN in CKD patients? Well, the method here is still a secret. You see, this is a corporation we are talking about, and since they think they have found something that works, they are not giving out their secret for free. The results they are having with their method are impressive. So great that they are planning to make their finding available for a price. But don't worry, I also have my secrets. I have a source, an industrial spy. So I'll show you in the next part of the video all you need to know in order to turn your skin into your third kidney. And today I have 5 more super easy tips to share with you, because now you may ask, how can I benefit from these findings if I don't have access to a sauna? This brings us to our tip number 2. In fact, there are other ways you can use to sweat more and protect your kidneys. Now, when it comes to sweating, I cannot forget to mention exercising, because when you exercise, you are doing way more than just sweating for your kidneys. Science tells us that what exercise does for your kidney is directly improving your kidney function. Yes, it's incredible. As we can see here, your GFR will actually increase if you start exercising. And by the way, this meta-analysis was conducted on 13 randomized controlled trials for 121 patients, and well, it's supported by tons of medical literature. So if your goal is to reduce your blood pressure, your body weight, or to improve your kidney function, start exercising regularly. Remember that it doesn't have to be hard, just regular. So join a class, fish back your gym membership from that drawer. If you don't have time to exercise or follow a workout routine daily, make sure you take a morning walk at least, and also take a walk after eating your meals. Remember that also taking the stairs instead of the elevator helps a lot. Just find ways to move. Get creative. And again, guys, if you are going to exercise more or do anything else that makes you sweat more, always drink lots of water. You don't want to be dehydrated if your goal is to protect the kidneys. Also, keeping an eye on your potassium levels is not a bad idea. Sweating will decrease your levels and you may need to have more potassium in your diet. And guys, since we are talking about rehydration, time for our tip number 3. This is going to be a super easy way to help your 2 kidneys work better. Let's take a look at one of the few herbal supplements on earth that works when it comes to helping people with CKD up to stage 5 pre-dialysis actually improve their GFR. Even in stage 5, you say? And it's for real? Well, I'm glad you asked, because this herbal supplement was proven to decrease both creatinine levels and proteinuria by a meta-analysis from the Cochrane Library. Now, the Cochrane Library is the gold standard, the #1 most reputable source out there when it comes to medical science. So yeah, consider drinking astragalus tea as a part of your treatment and not just for dehydration. Because astragalus is an adaptogen and a mainstay of the natural treatment for CKD. And if you follow me here regularly, you probably already know that astragalus was used in CKD patients in stage 4 to increase their GFR by 12.4% in just 3 months, which is an incredible achievement. Now guys, I shared with you a recipe recently that makes this supplement even more powerful. It's up here and also down in the description if you missed it. But I also know that the ingredients for this particular tea are not the easiest to find. So my advice there was to also just consider using astragalus even alone if you weren't able to find the other parts of the tea. And one of you guys asked me a very interesting question about that. Hi Catherine, can you please tell me the procedures of taking astragalus to lower creatinine? Can it also remove high uric acid and gout? So how do you take astragalus for kidney health? Now, there are various forms of this adaptogen you can find. Extract in oil, powder, even desiccated root. Having the root and making tea is my preferred method, but if you don't have the time, you can also just buy the powder. There are several doses that have been tested and found out to be safe for the powder, up to 60 grams a day. But for kidney health, what seems to be the sweet spot is taking 2.5 grams of astragalus powder twice a day. Most studies tell us that astragalus is safe for at least 12 months. And that's it! Pretty easy. But I would also consult with a naturopath if you can find one that can help fine-tune this treatment better. To answer the rest of the question, is astragalus useful for uric acid and gout? There are studies that are investigating this possibility, but I wouldn't rely on astragalus too much for uric acid. The first treatment for high uric acid in CKD should always be a diet that avoids triggers foods such as meat, fish, and alcohol, and added sugar especially. Other things that can help are natural anti-inflammatories such as turmeric, for example. If this is not enough for uric acid, also consider allopurinol. This is a medical treatment that works for most people. Almost time to reveal some industrial secrets. Before that, I actually have one more super easy tip for you today. This one is going to be a great way to improve kidney health both for people with diabetes and for those with hypertension. So let's talk about probably the most effective food item out there when it comes to lowering blood pressure. Garlic. Question: are you taking garlic for your kidney health? If you aren't, you probably should. I've made more than 600 videos talking about ways to improve kidney function here on YouTube, and I've spent the last 15 years of my life studying kidney disease. And well, there is one food item that's outstanding when it comes to helping the kidneys. It's garlic. Many studies confirm that taking garlic can lower your blood pressure significantly, reducing your need for medications. And garlic is also extremely effective in improving blood sugar control in people with diabetes. Garlic can also be used to control high cholesterol levels. A meta-analysis confirmed that garlic is effective in reducing total serum cholesterol by 17.6 milligrams per dl and LDL cholesterol by 9.6 mg per dl. So yeah, imagine that, being able to help 3 crucial issues for people with CKD with just one food. I mean, where do I have to sign? Now, to fully harness the benefits of garlic, simply adding raw garlic to your meals won't be enough. You need to prepare it in a special way or it's not going to work. And most importantly, you need to combine it with some foods with special properties. So let's take a look very briefly at how to make this. First of all, chop or crush your raw garlic clove. Now, garlic has a dose-dependent effect on your blood pressure, alright? The more garlic you take, the greater the effect. What I usually recommend is to start with 2 medium cloves of garlic in the morning and maybe add 2 more in the evening so your blood pressure is more stable. Always remember that you want garlic to sit before you consume it, alright? If you don't leave it for 10 minutes after crushing it, it won't work. And now, we make this even more effective with a food combination. First of all, with olive oil. Olive oil will help absorbing the precious allicin in garlic better, so garlic will be even more effective for you. And the side effects, body odor in particular, will be less noticeable. And you also want to mix garlic with lemon juice. And the reason is cholesterol. Studies also found out that garlic must be consumed with lemon juice in order to improve your cholesterol levels. As we can see, garlic can greatly help with cholesterol, but only if you mix it with lemon juice. Now, since garlic has powerful antimicrobial properties, you can prepare it like this and store it in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. So, you don't have to make it every day, but the taste is going to become stronger the more it sits, in my experience, so keep that in mind. And done! You now have access to one of the best tools nature has to offer to help your kidneys do their job. Trust me, if you combine the tips of today's video together, it will be just like having a third kidney. And since we are talking about the third kidney, it's time to reveal some industrial secrets now. Tip number 5, let's take a look at the secret sauna procedure. So, the method to turn your skin into your third kidney is actually pretty straightforward in my opinion. It's a sauna-based procedure, as I was saying. And while they may have patented it, you cannot patent saunas. They also need to publish a lot of information about the research they did before patenting their method. What this means is that I actually have access to all the info they needed to publish. And according to their study, what you want to do in order to turn your skin into a third kidney is pretty safe, relatively low temperature Finnish sauna sessions. There are mainly 3 types of saunas out here, alright? There are dry sauna with low humidity, there is Finnish sauna with medium humidity, and then there is steam room with high humidity. What you want to use is Finnish sauna, medium humidity. You also want it to be not too hot, around 70 degrees Celsius, alright, or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't use saunas that are much hotter than that. Don't worry, this is a pretty common type of sauna. As we can see here, 1 to 2 hour sauna sessions in this mid-humidity and conservative temperature 3 times a week were used to get the result of lowering burn levels. That's it. And well, the results are incredible, as we can see. Now, keep in mind that sauna is generally considered safe, but it may still come with a risk of dehydration, so drink lots of water. And you may still want to consult your doctor before starting a sauna regimen. And many gyms have sauna, so if you are currently have a gym subscription, well, it's time to put that to good use. And another way you could benefit from your third kidney is by taking hot baths. They have a similar effect to that of sauna baths, but most people can do hot baths even at home. Yes, this could be one of the easiest tricks you can find to protect your kidneys. And if you want to see more easy tips to improve your kidney health, my video up here is for you. In this video, 7 easy tips that are actually supported by science to improve your kidney function fast. Don't miss the number 1 in particular, because there are patients out there that went from risking dialysis back to stage 3 just by doing exactly that. Catherine here, I've been working with kidney disease sufferers for more than a decade now. During these years, I've witnessed firsthand the inspiring stories of patients who have managed to turn the tide on their kidney health. By taking control of their habits and embracing the power of knowledge, they've been able to make remarkable improvements, even bouncing back from the brink of dialysis. Yes! What they did is taking control of their health through the right habits. The exciting news is that there has never been a better time to start your own kidney health journey than right now. New studies are being made about kidney health at an incredibly fast pace, and we have a huge amount of info we can use in order to improve. And there is one area of nutrition in particular that can be a game changer in the realm of kidney health: the art of mineral management. We know today that finding the right balance between sodium, potassium, phosphorus, and calcium may make a huge difference. These minerals may hold the key to transforming your GFR and creatinine numbers for the better fast. Let's start immediately with number 7. Stop avoiding high potassium foods. Bananas, potatoes, tomatoes, and avocados all have one thing in common: they are extremely healthy for you. Science basically says that if you have kidney disease, the more fruit and vegetables you eat, the greater your chances of improving. And yet many patients are still being told today that high potassium fruits and veggies are their number 1 enemy. No wonder so many CKD sufferers cannot improve. Actually, despite what many people unfortunately still believe, foods that contain potassium are some of the healthiest you can find. This is because high potassium veggies such as spinach, kale, and kiwi are among the most alkaline foods out there. But why is this important? Because keeping your acid-alkaline balance in check is a way more effective way of controlling serum potassium levels than avoiding healthy veggies. This is what the modern guideline for CKD management says, by the way. It's not an opinion. And guys, if you think this info is useful, please give this video a like and let me know your thoughts down in comment section. Time now for our number 6. Number 6, consider sodium bicarbonate to keep serum potassium under control. Sodium bicarbonate is a clever way to solve at least two issues: metabolic acidosis and high serum potassium. And by the way, this supplement is an authentic staple for people with kidney disease. So I decided to quiz the O kidney community about it. So what I asked in my last quiz was, which one of these supplements can be used to reduce serum potassium levels or hyperkalemia? The choices were sodium bicarbonate, vitamin D, ACV, and acacia fiber. And while all these supplements are useful for kidney health in general, the correct answer is sodium bicarbonate. What I found out is that 55% of you guys knew the right answer for this question, which is not bad, but I bet that those that got it wrong want to know why this is an important question. Because you see, sodium bicarbonate can be used to treat high potassium levels in certain kidney disease patients, okay? It treats metabolic acidosis or too high acidity in blood, which is one of the most common causes of hyperkalemia in CKD patients. It's almost as common as taking high blood pressure medications. Yes, that also causes hyperkalemia, just like untreated diabetes. And as I was saying, there have been huge steps forwards in the way kidney disease is treated, because today we can effectively treat the cause of high potassium levels instead of just giving up healthy fruits and veggies for no benefit. Up next, another small trick that can help solve a big issue. Number 5, use iron cast cookware to improve iron levels. Now, this is something I really recommend to basically anyone with CKD. What you see here is not just a regular skillet, it's an iron cast skillet, the best friend of your kidneys when it comes to cooking. When you cook, especially if acidic seasonings such as lemon or vinegar are involved, some metal from your cookware will leach into your food. That may be either a bad or a good thing. For example, you absolutely don't want extra aluminum in your diet. This is why this skillet is made from iron. When you are cooking with it, what will leach into your food is precious iron, something most kidney patients need to supplement. Science is pretty clear on this. If you use this kind of cookware every day, your iron levels can improve. But why is this important? Because you see, according to recent statistics, up to 72.8% of CKD patients also suffer from iron deficiency anemia. That's a huge problem because anemia causes kidney disease to progress faster. Now, getting more iron in your diet will surely help, but unfortunately, for some patients, it's not enough. This is why you should make sure you are being tested for iron levels regularly if you have CKD. Up next, another issue that not enough patients are being treated for. Number 4, use this seaweed to help your thyroid. Okay, this may sound strange at first, but for some patients, this may be extremely important. There is a connection between the kidney and the thyroid that sometimes even doctors fail to notice. And this is a problem. If the thyroid doesn't work well, symptoms may seriously affect your kidneys and many other parts of your body. Now, the thyroid is also part of the system used by the body to regulate the balance between calcium and phosphorus. These two minerals are almost always out of balance in people with CKD. So, what the body does in this case is releasing more parathyroid hormone to reduce phosphorus and increase calcium. This has, unfortunately, also consequences on thyroid health, which in turn has consequences on kidney health. Yes, there is a strong correlation between thyroid function and kidney function, but there are a couple of things we can do to stop this vicious circle. First of all, protect your thyroid with iodine. Iodine is usually present in our diets because the table salt we use is enriched with it. But I bet that most of you guys have no table salt at all in your diet, which is great for your blood pressure but may put your thyroid under even greater stress. This seaweed, or wakame, can help with that. It's the best dietary source of iodine you can find, and it will really help your thyroid. Now, wakame is great, but when it comes to serious medical conditions that can affect the kidneys, such as thyroid problems, you also want to get checked, okay? It is generally recommended that CKD patients have their thyroid function monitored regularly. There are treatments that work today to improve thyroid function in CKD patients, such as levothyroxine. Good news is that, according to studies, renal function can be improved with the treatment of hypothyroidism. So make sure you are not overlooking this very important issue. Up next, a simple hack that may have a huge positive impact on your kidney function. Number 3, eat 1 or 2 Brazil nuts every morning. Brazil nuts are super tasty, and the reason why I'm recommending them is selenium. Selenium is a mineral that's been used to fight kidney disease in medical literature. But how can a single mineral help with kidney disease? Well, because a deficiency in this mineral, which is pretty common actually, is considered a cause of kidney damage. Even more interesting, correcting this deficiency has been observed to directly improve GFR numbers. In this placebo-controlled trial, those supplementing selenium as well as CoQ10 for 48 months had a huge improvement in kidney function. As we can see here, a whopping 14% points improvement in GFR. So yeah, consider adding Brazil nuts to your diet, but no more than 1 or 2 per day. Keep in mind that Brazil nuts are very rich in selenium. The daily selenium target, or RDI, can be achieved with just 2 Brazil nuts, and you don't want to get more than that. Number 2, use an app to track your nutrient intake. Okay, this is my number 2 for today because it can make a huge difference for a huge number of CKD patients, and it can really help, not just with micronutrients and minerals. You see, the way most people follow a diet today is by receiving a list of foods to eat every day. Your dietitian may tell you to eat this food for breakfast, that food for lunch, and so on. They may give you some examples of replacement foods and usually a list of foods to avoid. Now, don't get me wrong, this works to an extent. But you see, there is a fundamental flaw to this approach. It is not compatible with a renal diet. Why, you may ask? Because a renal diet must provide an exact daily amount of protein. That's the number 1 goal of a renal diet, okay? 0.55 to 0.60 grams per kilogram per day of protein for non-diabetics, and 0.60 grams to 0.8 grams per kilograms per day of protein for diabetics. And there's a reason why dietitians are supposed to follow rules so strict, because studies are linking too high protein intake to a decline in kidney function. Now the scary part, some of these studies were done on CKD patients that were being monitored by renal dietitians. Now, this is a big problem because if you eat more protein than what you are supposed to eat, there is no way you can improve your kidney function. And the best solution, in my opinion, is to double check that your diet is ship-shape by using one of those free diet apps you can download on your phone. They are actually very easy to use. You basically just weigh everything you eat on a kitchen scale and you input the food and the weight into the app. There are various free or freemium apps you can use: Nutritionix, MyFitnessPal, Chronometer, Lucid, and more. What these apps give you is the total of the calories, protein, carbohydrates, and fats you are getting every day. And this will be a better way of managing your diet than just blindly following a diet prescribed to you by a dietitian. Says science. A way to make sure protein intake is not damaging your kidneys. And guys, one of the most important things you can use this app to track will be our number 1. Seriously, find a way to drastically reduce your intake for this mineral. I'm talking about number 1, drastically reduce your phosphorus intake. Phosphorus and protein, these two always go together, and they can be the number 1 enemy of your kidneys if you have too much of them in your diet, especially if they come from animal-based sources. It's not a secret that drastically reducing the amount of animal-based foods on your table is a way to protect your kidneys. But did you know that in a recent study, 120 patients were able not just to stop the decline of their kidney function, but to improve it just by controlling their phosphorus and protein intake? If you want to know more, this video up here is for you. When it comes to the renal diet, there are 5 foods that are absolutely underrated in terms of health benefits. They are the best sources of some of the most amazing vitamins and nutrients. In particular, there's a certain vitamin that's linked by science to a 44% slower decline in kidney function. And today we will see how to get it naturally. Gathering here, I've personally met kidney disease patients who were able to improve their GFR, even in the advanced stages. And I can't stress enough how much the diet played a crucial role for all of them. You see, today's science is very clear on that. The right renal diet, even alone, can be all you need to go from losing kidney function year after year to improving your GFR significantly in the span of a few short weeks. And some doctors will tell you that improving your GFR is impossible, that kidney disease only goes in one direction. But today we will prove them wrong. Yes, there is one change that always seems to give the best results to everyone. Finding foods that support kidney health instead of harming it. So today we will focus on those nutrients that can really make a difference. Let's start with the only natural source for one of the most important vitamins out there. This is tempeh. Made from a base of fermented soybeans, this Indonesian patty is not only a super tasty meat substitute. Tempeh is actually a source of unique probiotics that are great for gut health. And that's why this dish is so popular, especially among vegans and health-conscious people. But the reason why I've included tempeh in this video is another. You see, this superfood may be one of the only, if not the only, natural source of vitamin B12, which is not animal-based. Because you see, only animal-based foods such as seafood, meat, egg, and dairy naturally contain vitamin B12, forcing people following a renal diet to take supplements. And tempeh may finally change that. But why is vitamin B12 so important? Vitamin B12 is a vitamin that's key for good kidney health. If you don't have enough of this vitamin, you are at risk for fatigue and even anemia, which will cause a faster progression of kidney disease. But unfortunately, no plant food contains this essential nutrient, and you are basically forced to supplement it when following a renal diet. So, you should not be surprised in learning that up to 92% of people following plant-based diets are deficient in vitamin B12. This is not something we should underestimate. But today, there is one food that may change this. In fact, the B12 you find in tempeh doesn't come from the soybeans this dish is made of. It comes from the probiotics it contains. Yes, the soybeans themselves do not contain B12, but it's actually generated by the probiotics during the fermenting process. Amazing! Now guys, not all types of tempeh you can find have enough vitamin B12. Besides, relying only on this food is risky. This is why I still recommend supplementing this vitamin every day if you are following a renal diet. But you can still try tempeh if you also want to get B12 naturally. Many grocery stores and supermarket chains such as Trader Joe, Target, Whole Foods, Kroger, and more carry it. Just keep in mind that tempeh is also a protein source, so make sure it fits in your macros. And by the way, if you want to know more about how much protein is safe in a renal diet, this video up here is for you. Up next, a superfood so rich in nitric oxide it may even lower your blood pressure while improving your antioxidant level. Before that, there is some concerning news that I need to report. I'm talking about certain sweeteners that were considered safe and that maybe aren't. In particular, aspartame, which is now on the list of possibly carcinogenic, says the World Health Organization. Now, there's a lot of talk about this on the internet today, and I believe that you guys may want to know more about it. First of all, what's new about aspartame? Well, aspartame, one of the most common sweeteners, is now on the list of possibly carcinogenic, according to the WHO. And while aspartame really is common, it is used in more than 6,000 sugar-free or low-calorie food items such as diet sodas and colas, chewing gums, flavoring and syrups, sweetened iced tea, some fruit juices, and more. And a lot of people are worried about that now. They say, have we been fed carcinogens for all these years without knowing? So a question for you guys, do you drink Diet Coke or sweetened beverages? Will you stop drinking them after knowing about this piece of information? Let me know. Let's talk about it in comment section. And now you may ask, how much Should we actually be worried about aspartame and cancer? Well guys, in my opinion, not a whole lot. You see, according to this new research, you will need to consume a lot of aspartame per day to be at increased risk for cancer. They talk about 2.8 grams of aspartame per day, and that's what you will get from 15 cans of Diet Coke. Besides, there are 3 types of carcinogenic according to the WHO. Substances confirmed to be dangerous such as tobacco smoking and alcoholic beverages. Substances that are probably carcinogenic such as certain pesticides and red meat consumption. And then there are substances that are just possibly carcinogenic such as coffee consumption and being a barber. This last, less dangerous category also include aspartame now. So yeah, I'm not really any more worried about aspartame than I was yesterday. Now this doesn't mean that I recommend drinking Diet Coke though. First of all, because it damages the kidneys. Dark colas are full of phosphates, very bad for anyone with kidney disease. And also diet soda's consumption is linked to weight gain and metabolic syndrome, which can make diabetes worse, by the way. Now back to the super healthy foods of today's video. Time to see a food with so many health benefits, it's hard to count them. And with a little known benefit that's especially interesting for the health of our kidneys. I'm talking about blueberries. If you follow me here regularly, you are probably already eating blueberries regularly. I mean, why wouldn't you? Blueberries are delicious and they are low in phosphate, sugar, and on the glycemic scale. They are incredibly good for those with diabetes. Studies found out that may even help improve insulin sensitivity. Not to mention that blueberries provide antioxidant support as well. But there is more. A study showed that by eating blueberries for 8 weeks, you can benefit from a significantly improved blood pressure. The study also showed a reduction in arterial stiffness and an increase in nitric oxide production. And as we can see here, when researchers write significantly, they really mean it. Test subject who received just 22 grams of freeze-dried blueberry powder daily had a reduction in BP of 7/5 millimeters of mercury on average. Amazing! And do you know why this makes these berries so healthy? I mean, yeah, you could also supplement nitric oxide or L-arginine and L-citrulline to be more accurate and get a similar result in terms of blood pressure. But it wouldn't be the same. There is solid research to prove that higher natural vitamin and nutrients intake from foods is superior in terms of kidney benefits than what you get from supplements. This is why I always tell you to focus on the diet. And yes, supplements help, but natural is better. Whole foods provide a variety of nutrients that work together to promote optimal health. A clear example of this is our next entry for today. There is one vitamin that you can't get from foods and that you can't supplement either. But guess what? When people with kidney problems got this vitamin from natural food sources, their creatinine levels got way better. Interesting, isn't it? This study linked a higher consumption of foods rich in vitamin E to a significant reduction in creatinine levels. This happens because vitamin E is one of the most powerful antioxidants, but you can't supplement vitamin E and it's also not the easiest to get in a renal diet. Do you know which food is the best plant-based source of this vitamin? Sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds have a mild nutty flavor and a firm but tender texture. They're often roasted to enhance the flavor, though you can also buy them raw. They're delicious and healthy. Sunflower seeds are also rich in magnesium, great to lower blood pressure, and in a compound called chlorogenic acid, which has diabetes-fighting properties. But their main benefit is another. In approximately 28 grams or about 1 ounce of dried roasted sunflower seeds, there is about 7.4 milligrams of vitamin E. This is roughly half of the daily recommended intake for this essential nutrient. And as we have seen, this daily amount of vitamin E can make a huge difference with kidney health on the long term. The reason is the huge antioxidant potential vitamin E has. Now guys, consuming seeds as a part of a renal diet is still somehow controversial these days. Some people are concerned about the potassium and phosphorus content. Okay guys, so today we have talked about one of the most underrated benefits of probiotic-rich foods, making vitamin B12. But when it comes to these foods, the reason why people eat them is another. Improving your gut health, which can be achieved by eating probiotic-rich foods regularly, is extremely important for general health, especially for people suffering from diabetes or hypertension, or for those overweight, says science. Now, if you think about probiotic-rich foods, one of the first things that come to mind is yogurt, which I do not really recommend, by the way. But there is a food that beats yogurt in almost every aspect. It has more strain of probiotics, less lactose, and less phosphorus. Amazing, isn't it? This food is kefir. Kefir is a fermented probiotic milk drink. It is made by adding kefir grains to cow's or goat's milk. Kefir, unlike yogurt, contains several major strains of friendly probiotics and yeast, making it a diverse and potent help for our gut. Kefir was studied recently. Researchers found out that it can actually reduce kidney inflammation. Will that really make a difference for kidney health? In my opinion, yes. Today, the use of probiotics for kidney health, either from foods or from supplements, is strongly supported by science. A review of studies conducted on kidney disease patients and published in the Frontiers Journal in 2022 states that probiotic supplements improve lipid profile and oxidative stress and inflammation in patients with CKD. This was a large review, by the way, including 1,373 test subjects. And all these benefits can make a huge difference for kidney health, no doubt about it. Now, here's the part we care about the most. This large review concluded that probiotic supplements improved renal function. So yeah, if you have been taking a probiotic supplement for the last few years without knowing about this study, time now to pat yourself on the back. But if you haven't, it's not time to start, in my opinion. And also consider food sources of probiotics, especially kefir. But be sure to choose the unpasteurized kind or you're not gonna find any probiotic in it. So double check the label of the kefir you're buying and see if the amount of probiotic is listed. Now, kefir also comes with its drawbacks though. Like yogurt, it can be high in protein and phosphorus, so it should be consumed in moderation. Okay, time now to see a food that should be consumed with abandon. This is a food incredibly rich in the vitamin that has been linked to a 44% slower decline in kidney function. And we can get this vitamin from turnip greens. Oh, talking about underrated foods. You know those white bulbs that grow underground and look like potatoes? They're called turnips and they're pretty good. But the real stars, the real superfood is their green top. Turnip greens are so rich in antioxidants they can actually help managing the complications of diabetes and kidney disease. Turnip greens are also one of the best sources in existence of a vitamin that's recently been linked to a significantly slower decline in kidney function, which is folate or vitamin B9. This vitamin was studied on more than 15,000 CKD patients for more than 4 years with an incredible result, a 44% slower decline in renal function over the years. And guys, they only had to take 0.8 milligrams folate every day to achieve this incredible result. So add turnip greens to your diet and also consider a B vitamin supplement. I've talked more in depth about what vitamin supplements are the best in my video up here. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all.